Hello everyone! The activity I chose for Module 3, the STEM exemplar activity, was called Measure Yourself. I found this activity under the Science and Math Informal Learning Educators page. Measure yourself and compare your data with animal data with the use of technology. So students will be collecting data of themselves and then comparing it to animal data that is already entered in the program. Fortunately for this activity, there's very minimal materials required. At some point, they will need to be able to access a web page. Other than that, they will need something to collect their data if they do not have the computer readily available, as well as a measuring utensil. I used a ruler. You could use a meter stick, tape measure, anything that would work. They will be required to measure their ear, their height, and your foot. There I am measuring my ear and my foot. And after you are done and you collect that data, you can enter it into the website and it will plug in your information and compare you to animals. So as you can see, the size of my ears fell between a sea lion and a gorilla. My feet were between a swan and a gorilla's foot. And then my height was between a deer and a sea lion. So a common thread I'm seeing is the sea lion and gorilla are near my statistics. For this activity, I thought it was an interdisciplinary approach. The key concept here is measurement. Students are able to see how they measure up to animals. So in mathematics, students are using their understanding of measurement by measuring certain parts of their body. And in science, they're collecting the data and using their traits to learn about animal traits. Here's the curriculum plan I created. So in mathematics, how many centimeters are your ears, how many centimeters are you, and how many centimeters is your foot are the things the students will be gathering. And then in science, how do you compare to those animals and what type of traits do animals have? According to figure 8.7, I felt like this activity falls in the interdisciplinary approach until the degree of integration and assessment. I think those two categories fall under multidisciplinary approach. This activity is a great way for students to practice measuring and getting better at measuring, as well as they'll be learning about animals and how they compare to animals. This learning is embedded in one another because they're interchangeably learning about themselves and the animals, especially with the use of the website. They're able to plug that data in and pull up charts right in the middle of the animals they fall between. As far as assessment goes for such activity, I would just be checking that they're using the measuring tools correctly, as well as that they have reasonable measurements of their ears and height and feet. I will know what mine are, and most of the time, as far as maybe other than feet, all their measurements should be less than mine, so I should be able to gauge where they are in the process of measuring. And that's my Measure Up activity for Module 3.